So as you guys know, I've done plenty of videos on my page in regards to infidelity because I genuinely believe it is a disease in society that is not only destroying families, but it's destroying individuals and it's destroying the children that witness that infidelity to want to go on and build healthy, prosperous relationships. My angle very much before was treat the people who cheat like criminals. And over the years, I've come to some realizations, and this is not about justifying bad behavior. It's just about expanding our thoughts to really think, where does this behavior come from? Because it's like a cancer in our community. It's so vicious and it's spread like wildfire, and it is justified by people who just want to take pieces of the Quran Sharif and explode it into this huge justification so they can just get away with behaving and living however they want. Now, that is one side to the psychology, but I want to cover another element here that I've been thinking about over the last few months, that actually when we get really upset and angry with people who cheat, actually they should be the ones that require the most help, empathy and pity out of all of us, even more than the victims of the people that have been cheated on. People who cheat, they share common denominators. They're unhappy in their life. They're riddled with anxiety. They are dying to escape somewhere, anywhere. And there are particular people in my life that I genuinely had extreme hatred for after I saw that their behavior was like this. And I even invested a lot of my own personal time hoping that they would come out of this and see that, living in an honest way is definitely better. But what I realize is people that cheat all share some kind of deep emotional trauma. It's either something to do with their parents, majority of the time it is, or something that they experienced in life, some kind of loss, some kind of issue that makes them run for this pleasure cycle, the reward system that we've been given in our brains. And they just run for any bit of dopamine that is available anywhere. Now think about it. For people that don't cheat, we genuinely don't get a kick or a rush out of lying and mistreating people. We don't get a rush out of getting away with bad behavior. But a lot of these people that do get that. Why do they get that? That's the exploration I wanted to go into. And when I was doing research in neuroscience about the reward system in the brain, it made me realize why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts certain things in the realm of haram. So when you experience things that release a lot of dopamine, so with people that cheat, it's mainly the new connection, the excitement of someone that's brand new to them, and they can be this new version of them and not carry any of their life baggage, and they can just escape almost into Alice in Wonderland, into a little dream of who they are, is because they are chasing a type of peace and a connection that unfortunately a lot of them never get. They are hunting and they are willing to hunt for that dopamine and get that kick out of that situation over consideration for people around them that love them. Just imagine that for a second. They're willing to harm themselves in the long run and everyone around them that loves them just for the sake of chasing pleasure. And I, for one, have completely changed the way I see people that do that. I used to have hate for them. I used to have dislike for them. I used to think they were disgusting. And now I realize those are the people with the most deepest psychological wounds. Because staying faithful, working on that relationship, going and putting that grind in, actually in the long term, you end up releasing serotonin and oxytocin when you do pursue the righteous path, which is a much more peaceful and satisfying chemical for our reward system to release over dopamine. Dopamine is like a quick buzz and then it dies. But serotonin is what you get from a long-term, consistent, good activity. Oxytocin is released when you have a connection with someone. And those two things give you long-term peace. And these people are not at peace. And I think to myself, back in my own situation, I think one of the main reasons I stayed with someone who was actively unfaithful to me and harming other people is because I saw that loss and that brokenness in their eyes, and I wanted to be the one that fixed it. I wanted to give them that contentment that they couldn't search for. And empathetic people, when a woman's empathy or a man's empathy is misplaced, you will fall into the trappings of these people that are searching for their fun. Because you see the pain in their eyes. They see the dopamine that they can get out of you. They see the fun that they can get out of you. And that's one of the things I said in my other video. Misplaced empathy is borderline self-harm. And I'm not saying that my video on understanding why people cheat means it's okay. It just means we can place our pain in the right place, because they're not really harming us as much as they're harming themselves. It will get to a point where satisfaction won't be available to them because they would have smashed their dopamine system to pieces. They will never be satisfied. They will never be happy. They'll never be in contentful and prosperous marriages. And as time's gone along, my anger is dissipated, and I truly feel from the deepest depths of my heart for people like that. But that doesn't mean that those people should be allowed to continue to behave in that way. Because I used to be someone whose empathy was literally hanging here on her chest. And I would take people who were doing terrible things and I would understand them. And just like my other video where I say you cannot condone people's behavior with your understanding when it goes past a certain line of integrity. It's very cut and shut when something is wrong. So for any of people out there that are being cheated on, your partner is psychologically and emotionally so damaged that this is where they see it's going on. And nothing you do can fix that. It has to be an individual decision that they make, and it will take years of healing and therapy before they can actually realize that. A majority of people are not willing to put in that work. So take your misplaced empathy, put it in the right place psychologically so you can understand what's going on with them, remove it from here and get practical, because these people will play with you till their last day. And they have no empathy or remorse for the ditch, the emotional ditch that they leave people in after they're done with their dopamine chase. So they're not really villains. They're actually the bigger victim in the grand scheme of life on earth.